A controversial Chicago referendum to hike that real estate tax is on the ballot, and we've been talking about this real estate transfer tax the mayor calls Bring Chicago Home for months now. If approved, this will increase taxes on $1 million plus properties to raise money for homeless service. The referendum would be the first win from Mayor Brandon Johnson's Tax the Rich agenda that he campaigned on during the 2023 mayoral race.
Political analyst Tom Serafin joins us now to talk about that and some other top issues of the Illinois primary.
Thank you for joining us, Tom. Okay, the real estate transfer tax, it's been in and out of the courts. If it passes, have we seen the last of the attempts to try to have this brought back to another courtroom and thrown out?
No, they're going to continue to do the legal piece, but they're not going to overturn the popular vote. So if the people of Chicago today approve that referendum, it's eventually going to take law. I mean, there's going to be some discussion about it, but it's going to be part of the law.
Let's talk about one of the hottest races, I think the hottest on the ballot, and that's for state's attorney. Clayton Harris III is backed by the Democratic Party, but Eileen O'Neill Burke has outraised him. So how will low voter turnout help or hurt either of these candidates?
Boy, that's a tough question, because some people would say small elections with low turnouts would really, benefit those people that are well organized. That's the teachers union, AFSCME, the Democratic Party of Cook County, Tony Preckwinkle's organization. They're supporting Clayton, so you would think that would go to them. However, because of the environment we live in today, people are saying to themselves, if you're angry, if you're concerned, now's your chance to vote. There are a lot of victims of crime around Cook County. Are they out there voting as well? Right now, the emphasis was on Clayton going in thinking he was going to win with a comfortable margin. Now people are starting to second guess themselves. Maybe the judge is going to, be able to swing some votes. This is the lowest turnout ever, since '76 in my lifetime. Right now, look at 15%. The Board of Elections saying 15% of the people have voted up to this point. That includes people voting by mail and people that are also, doing absentee ballots. So that's a terrible number right now.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about those low numbers, because so the latest numbers from noon revealing the biggest age group voting is the boomers, 65 to 74. Smallest group, the 17 to 24 age group. They are currently less than 3% of the voters. Any surprise here, and any hope in what the Board of Elections is saying is that maybe we might see a surge after people get off work?
Well, I would think, in the Democratic primary for a president, you don't have a contest. So people are saying that are going to be protesting, as they did in Michigan and in Minnesota and other states in the primary. They vote Gaza in, and that's primarily a younger vote. I anticipated some of the college kids and some of the folks that have been protesting in the street to be better organized than that. Right now, the turnout is 15%, 257,000 votes out of 1.7 million voters in Illinois. It doesn't look like that particular voting block is going to be enough. Although it's such a small turnout, the surge between 4:30 and 7 can be enough to push a candidate one way or the other. So, this is the kind of election where, don't stay at home because it's over with. It's not over with here in Illinois, not over here in Chicago right now.
All right, political analyst Tom Serafin, thank you. I know we'll be seeing you tonight as part of our Fox 32 political coverage. Let me know if you need any snacks. We'll make sure they're ready for you.
Get out there and vote.
All right, look forward to seeing you in house. Thanks, Tom.